Hey Fragrance family, I'm Daver.
And I'm Max.
And we're the Fragrance Bros. Come at you again with another review, this time with Max Forte from his channel, Max Forte. How are you doing,
hey guys.
Max?
Doing great. How you guys doing, Fragrance?
Doing great. Really glad to have you on. Really like your channel. You've had a lot of content lately.
Thank you so much.
And just really glad to have you on.
It means a lot. It's an honor to be here. You guys, you know, your channel is one of my favorite channels of all time. Absolutely.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thanks. And today we are reviewing Bleu de Chanel from Chanel. So date introduced is 2010. It's classified as a woody aromatic. Notes are labdanum, nutmeg, ginger, sandalwood, patchouli, mint, jasmine, grapefruit, citruses, vetiver, incense, pink pepper, and cedar. Now Max, what did you get out of longevity out of this?
I get usually, I own both the Eau de Parfum and the EDT, but we're talking about EDT. I get about a good 6 to 8 hours, at least on my skin.
Yeah, same here. I get about the average range, which can't complain with that.
I know.
Always happy with that.
Absolutely.
What about projection?
Projection, I get a good 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. You know, it's, average 2 to 3 hours.
I would say on me, as far as how far it pushes out, it seems like it's actually pretty excellent for a few hours.
Wow.
And then it fades down. But overall, I thought it was stronger than normal, so that was pretty cool. Season, I would say this is great for spring and summer, and probably day or night. And purpose, I would say this is good for casual, it's good for work. I think this works for formal and maybe a date. I think it really is pretty well rounded in a lot of different areas.
Definitely. I think this is a jack of all trades, great for all sorts of occasions and scenarios. In the beginning, people thought this was very generic, but I think this is a great scent. It's sophisticated, but it's not like pushing the boundaries too much. It smells great, and it's something that anyone can appreciate.
So that reminds me, what does this remind you of?
Well, I think that Bleu de Chanel has that classy, smell to it. It's something that if you're wearing a nice shirt or a tux or a suit, for work, if you're going out on a date, a nice restaurant, I think this will do you justice. But I also think you can wear this casual, but it reminds me to my nose of something really elegant, sophisticated, and yet cozy and comfortable, but it's got the elegant and sophistication, smell to it. I definitely get that.
Yeah, I do actually really agree with that. Chanel is one of those companies like Dior that is a paragon in the designer world for fragrances, and they make really solid fragrances. Whenever this was first released, there was a lot of chatter on whether this is good or bad, and there's still kind of that going around. I think most people will generally say this is a good fragrance. It's very interesting, and I think it is very likable and safe, and Chanel really does that really well. They make really elegant, safe scents, I would say, especially recently anyway, recent years. And this is one of those. I think it's not going to blow anyone's mind. It doesn't blow my mind whenever I smell this, but it just smells good.
It's one of those that you're going to smell great. When you put it on, you can grab it and put it on, and people are going to compliment you. You're going to smell great. You're going to smell appealing. It's not going to turn any noses, and people are going to say, "What the hell is this guy wearing?"
Yeah, right. I remember when I first smelled this years ago. I smelled it and I was really underwhelmed. I didn't think it was that good. Now when I smell it, I think I like it a little bit more. I think I've grown to appreciate it a little bit more than I did at first. Whenever I smell this, I get a lot of grapefruit. It has like this almost really chalky, dry quality about the scent up at first, and that's probably because of the incense and the ginger and the whole mix of things right there. But there's a lot of citrus, and that citrus hangs on for a long time. It is on the woody side, but it's not like it's not like a cedar chest or anything.
Right, absolutely. And it's a really well made and very well done citrus too, with the little ginger in there and the incense.
Yeah.
It makes it so appealing. It's really nice. To take a little what you said, I had to revisit this fragrance because in the beginning when I first had it, I actually gave it away, and then I was at a Sephora, I sprayed on, it's like, what, this is not half bad, and I actually bought it and really enjoyed it, and had to revisit, a few times to actually appreciate the scent, so much so that I said, you know what, I'll get an EDP version of it, and I did, and that's a little bit different too. It's got some other nuances, a little more sweeter, but it's also really nice. And like you said, people weren't really sure if they were going to appreciate this fragrance, which is kind of like what's happening right now with Sauvage, the new Dior Sauvage. People are going through the same kind of phases, and I think eventually people are going to appreciate the fragrance as well. I think so.
The one thing I think whenever I wear this is how mature it smells. And it's very different from like Allure Homme Sport, which is a very safe, younger fragrance. This to me smells really manly and masculine and on the older side. I don't mean old, but it just smells mature. And I really actually like it for that reason. It has some hair on its chest, I think. It is very interesting because it has that incensey quality that really has that really dry aspect in a citrus scent, which a lot of times citrus scents go wet. You know, they go aquatic.
Very
but
true.
This is not that way. This is dry. That citrusy quality in there isn't the most natural citrus that I've smelled, but it's okay. I don't love the scent, but I do like it, and I do appreciate it for what it is. The one thing I have against this fragrance is that maybe because it's so popular, that I've smelled this before in other fragrances that are cheaper. And it could just be that other fragrances are trying to replicate the success that Bleu de Chanel has had. That's very possible. Because of that, I think there are other fragrances out there that are cheaper and kind of get in that realm already. Because of other scents that are on the generic side, sometimes this fragrance does remind me of a little bit more in the generic bubble. Right. But I don't want to say that it is generic. It's on the verge to me.
I agree. It has those nuances of those generics. It's been done before, but thankfully enough, this has enough differences that it stands on its own and does its own thing, which is a great thing.
Bang for buck, this is $89 for 100 ml, and I think that's actually a really good deal. With Chanel, you really don't get much of a price break anywhere because they have a really tight distribution, so they control the prices on everything. For $89 for 100 ml, I mean, that's a really good deal for what you're getting here. Now, what about compliments, Max? Do you get a lot of compliments when you wear this?
I do. I actually do get a lot of compliments. Like you said, at this point in time, this was released in 2010. Maybe it became really popular in 2013. So now, more people are wearing this. So not as much as I once did, but going back like a year and a half ago or two maybe, I used to get a lot of compliments with this, and people would ask me, what are you wearing? Where'd you get that? But I still do. I still get really good compliments. I'd say on a higher side of things, but it used to be a lot more. A lot more people, complimented me back in the day. But I still get a lot of compliments. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've actually never gotten many compliments by this, and my wife didn't really care for it, which I think is kind of funny.
Wow.
I think she said it smelled a little old, which I kind of see, but I don't think it really smells old. But I think it's a really nice scent overall. Now, Max, final rating, what do you give this?
I'd say 3.5.
Okay.
Solid 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. It doesn't blow me away, but it's a nice scent. And I appreciate Chanel for their aesthetic and what they do with safe scents. I think they did a good job here. I probably wouldn't wear it a whole lot if I had it, but I still like it.
So you wouldn't mind getting it as a gift? If somebody gave it to you,
Yeah.
You'd wear it?
Yeah, I'd totally wear it if someone got it to me as a gift.
Cool.
So that's all we have for Bleu de Chanel. Do you like it, love it, hate it? Let us know down in the comments down below. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. We'll love you for it. And I'll have a link to Max Forti's channel down below. Thanks for coming on, Max. Really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
We'll have you on again, of course.
Cool.
And we'll see you next time. We're the Fragrance Brothers.
See you
Bye.
guys.